In the last episode, we joined the exterior with the interior of the church behind me in holy matrimony by decorating it for a wedding. We also took a bit of a nosedive. Ooh! That was, yeah, that wasn't very skillfully done. But let's not talk about that. I would like to show you guys exactly what I've been doing since last episode, so roll the intro time-lapse. Oh yeah. This time, I spent some time building this tunnel through the mountain that takes you into the kingdom. If you've ever tried terraforming, you'll know it's not the easiest task, and building caverns from nothing at all is the worst kind of terraforming. But like with most other things, it's usually fine as soon as you get going, and I'm really happy I did this because it's the kind of detail that I could easily put off way into the future. As with the rest of my kingdom, I used tons of leaves and foliage to really lush things up for that overgrown vibe, and overall, I'm really happy with the end result. I want all the entrances to the kingdom to be unique in some kind of way and feel special, so it's going to be really fun to figure out how the other entrances are going to stand out. But for now, I think it's time to hop into first-person mode and check things out, so I will see you on the other side. Over to me in the studio. Thank you ever so much, Timelapse me. This is what we ended up with. I used a lot of these blue flowers. What are they called? Blue orchids? I think I really struck the Ventia vibe once again. You'll notice that I have some hidden lighting in here. I put some shroom lights behind some bushes here. I just felt like it was a bit too dark, and we still get the sort of dark effect. The ceiling is tall enough that it gets dark up there, so it's still kind of gloomy, but I still wanted you to be able to see. And the other fact is that we are not in the mushroom biome right here. It cuts off, well, right about there. You can see it cutting off right there, so this means that if it's not lit up, there are going to be monsters here, and since it's going to be dark 24/7, it's going to be a, let's just say it would be one of the main hangout spots for monsters, so it's going to be super necessary to light it up. But I think it fits very well right here. It's a little bit hidden, and now all I have to do is connect the road over here, go all the way this way, connect it from the little cave entrance over to here, and then over to this road over here. But we're not going to be connecting roads today. We're going to be doing something a little bit more scary. And when I say scary, I don't mean like creeper, aw man scary. I'm talking like creative endeavor that feels kind of overwhelming scary, which isn't as immediately terrifying as a creeper, I get it, but let me show you what I mean. You see, in my world, I've got mountains, a forest, an entire village, even an enormous castle on the top of a terraformed cliff. But you know what I don't have? Boats. And I know what you might be thinking. You're thinking, hey, Ants, you've built a bunch of other cool stuff. How come you can't build boats? I'm assuming you're from New York for some reason. I don't know why. And, well, truthfully, I've never, ever built a boat or even tried to build a boat in Minecraft. But fear not, folks, today is going to be that day when I build a boat. And so, to get into what I'd like to do today, I would like to work on this entire area right here because, honestly, it's been looking pretty empty for a really long time. Like, look at how bored my squid homies are down there. They need some cooler stuff to look at. So what I'd like to do today is upgrade this little dock down here, and I'd even like to go so far as to upgrade these little market stalls. They have been here since pretty much the beginning of 1.16, and I'd like to do something a little bit more interesting and a little bit more in line with the rest of my world here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let me collect some materials and I will get started building these docks. And with that said, roll the time lapse. Oh yeah. Like I said earlier, I built these market stalls in the early stages of this world about 6 months ago, and at the time, I had no intention of making YouTube videos at all, so I just threw a few of them together with the intent of having villagers there to trade with, but moving villagers is something you rarely do without a fair amount of frustration, so let's just say that never happened. So let me know if you think there should be villagers running the new market stalls, if you want to see me at my wit's end. No, but seriously, I'm contemplating moving a few over, so let me know if you like that idea. It might actually bring some more life to the place. Next up are the docks, where I needed to expand a little bit and change out some details before I could start my boat building. My small bay isn't very big, so I'm gonna have to save building the huge ships for later on in my world. You saw me put some stripped spruce in, which I end up changing for stripped dark oak. I wanted to try spruce, but dark oak is just a much cleaner texture, so I switched it all up for more simplicity. I don't want too much detail when it comes to the actual docks, since boats, buildings, and the market will have lots of detail. When building in Minecraft, you want to think of it like any work of art and not clutter every surface with detail. There's definitely a balance that needs to be struck. Here we go. This is the part where I start building my ship, and I wanted to build something kind of unique with this one. I see a lot of spruce ships and other wooden boats, so I felt like trying something a little bit different just to add some more color. I built the keel of the ship out of white concrete and black terracotta, which are supposed to be painted wood, of course, since a concrete boat would sail to the ocean floor pretty quickly. And most shipbuilders aren't doing a capsized speed run. Honestly, I thought I was going to fail miserably at building a ship, but I ended up very happy with the end result, and this makes me very excited to build some massive ships in the future. If you appreciate me getting out of my comfort zone for this one, leave a like and tell me down below in the comments if you would like to see me build more ships going forward. But for now, let's hop into first-person mode and take a look at everything and add some more details live. I will see you on the other side. Here we are, and I'm pretty happy with how this ship came out. I was terrified, like I said before, that this would go terribly wrong, but honestly, I think I only made a few mistakes. The big problem I see with my ship now, honestly, is that my masts might be a little bit short, like especially here for the front sail. I think I'd like a little bit more space between the deck of the ship and this lower boom right here. But other than that, I think the back one is fine, and honestly, it's not something I feel like changing right away. But this seriously improves this whole area to just have something that's actually docked here. So I'd like to spend some time building a few smaller boats, like really, really small rowboats and stuff. But before then, let's check out what we've actually built. So first off, I mean, this ship is honestly kind of big for these docks, but I managed to figure out a way to get up here. I also love how this just sort of arches over the docks here, so you have to walk under it. It definitely adds to how grand the whole thing feels. Over here on this side, I added a ladder to get up onto the ship, and I haven't added too many things up here, like maybe I should add some barrels and stuff, but you can walk up here, and I used an oak trapdoor to steer the ship. I think that works out pretty well. It's also pretty cool that it connects to the fence right here, so it's not just floating in midair. For my flags, I of course have the cyan, which is one of the two Ventian colors. And then there is a little secret on the boat here. It is actually big enough to have a small interior, so I went ahead and decorated down here. Super simple. I just added some beds and lanterns and a little bit of storage, so, you know, 4 people could be sleeping down here. It's not the biggest ship, but honestly, you could use this as a Minecraft starter base. Just switch a few of these out for like a furnace or something, and you'd be good. Overall, I think this is a great little addition to my world, and I'm super happy that I got to try out building boats. You might have noticed that I didn't actually switch these market stalls to the new design. I'm not really sure if I want to. I might try one, but since it's spruce down here and this would be changed to spruce, I'm not sure if that would actually go too well, and it's not like they look bad either. I am going to be adding another market stall right here for a bit. I'd like some that sell fish, so I'll add one right there, maybe one over here. We'll see what we figure out. And coming up over here, well, we're definitely going to have to find a new home for all our animal friends here that were just sort of sitting around. We need to do something with you guys. But I did make some more changes to the little market stalls here after the time lapse. I added what they're actually selling. So this guy would be beetroot, carrots, and potatoes. And I also added some carpets up here to make it look like those market stalls where it kind of looks like they're selling their vegetables or fruits on a little bit of an angle so that you can see more of them. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but I feel like that's super common, at least where I live. And I think that this just adds another cool little element, a little bit more texture to it, and it looks really nice. So we've got our veggies, apples, this one sells mushrooms over here, and this last one, I know these are sweet berries, but it's the closest thing to grapes. Since we have a vineyard and I plan to make more of them in the world, it just makes sense that they'd be selling grapes here over by the farmer's market. I'm also thinking about adding another market stall over here. We'll see when I get to that. I'll just have to figure out what I'm gonna sell there. But for now, let's grab some materials and actually build up the next market stall here because it's gonna be a little bit different and sell some fish. So I'd like to do something super similar to what I've done up here and just build pretty much the same template to start with here. But this is where I kind of want to make it a little bit different since you can actually display fish on unlit campfires. So I've built the exact same market stall, but what I'd like to do is maybe raise this up a little bit since the campfires are going to be raised up a little bit from here. Then what I'd like to do is display what kinds of fish we're actually selling right here. So that's going to be all 3 kinds of fish that have their own little item icons. So we will just place them down like so. Then we get out our trusty campfires and place them like this. Then we will extinguish them. And once that is done, we should be able to... Oh, I didn't actually know that you can't place tropical fish on there, but that makes sense because you can't cook the tropical fish. I guess we won't display it, we'll just have it on the sign. So I'm figuring something like this, where you see what's on display and you walk up and the fish is actually here and you can buy it. Another detail I'd like to add that you've probably seen people do before is put prismarine with some trapdoors behind it because it looks like a barrel full of fish. So maybe just placing one down like this. And then placing a few more around here is gonna look great. So I put a few of these barrels around here and I think it adds some nice color to the place. I put some actual barrels down as well. And now that it's getting dark, we should probably light this area up a little bit. I think we're still in the mushroom biome here, but it's gonna look better at night if we put a little bit of a lantern right there. This definitely livens up our docks a little bit. So let's do some more and add some smaller boats. I've gathered a few materials, so let's build a small boat right here and maybe build a few of them all around. Okay, so starting off, I just put 3 slabs down like this and a trapdoor. Next up, we're going to be putting full blocks right here and slabbing these. Then we're going to want to get our trapdoors again and actually place some jungle trapdoors here as well. It's always good to add a little bit of variety so the whole thing isn't just spruce the boat. Next up, we're gonna want to get some signs to put on these full blocks just to add a little bit more texture since we're only going with a 1 block wide boat. I decided to move the whole thing back 1 block just because it was getting a little bit close to right here and it would be touching, but the next step is gonna be to place one of these right here, and we're gonna go with 1 trapdoor and another trapdoor on top of it. Finally, we're gonna want to build a little bit of a rudder right here, so let's break this kelp off and grab our fence gates and do something like that. Ooh, can you not waterlog fence gates? Okay, well, then we're gonna have to change the fence gate for just a fence post. I think a fence gate would have looked way better, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Next, we're gonna go with the mast, and I don't really know how tall I'm gonna want this thing to be, so maybe let's go 2, 3, go something like 8 blocks and add a couple of iron bars on top. Yeah, that's about tall enough. Then we're gonna get to add our 3 fence gates right here, which is where we're also going to put the rolled up sail right like so. And there we go, we've got a tiny sailboat. So let me just add a couple more of these and I will check right back with you. All right, so this is what the harbor's looking like now that we have all the different boats in here, and I decided to go with all different colors just so that they would be a little bit unique. I've decided to leave a few of these spaces empty right here if I want to build some bigger boats in the future so that I don't just have to tear a bunch of small boats down. But overall, tell me how you guys feel about seeing more of this stuff getting built on camera like this, because I'm happy to show it, but it's something that's very, very new to me, so tell me what you think down below. What I might actually do is build another big boat right here and move the birch boat over there or something. I don't want it to feel too cluttered and have big boats everywhere, but I also don't want to put a big boat right here so that I ruin the view all the way from the nether portal all the way through here. This portal is so noisy, but over here you can see that when you stand at the portal you can see all the way through this little arch, and it goes all the way through the arch by the lighthouse. And I really don't want to obstruct that view by building a large ship here. I'm not even sure if we're going to have ships over there. Maybe we'll just place some regular Minecraft boats there to get in and out. But those are all things we're going to have to worry about in upcoming episodes. So let me know what you guys think we should do in the next episode. I'm thinking about starting building my mountaintop monastery up here. So really terraforming a lot of this mountain and starting with that project. Or I was thinking I could take care of a lot of this village down here and really try to finish this base level and maybe work my way up a little bit. So definitely definitely let me know which of those two projects you would prefer, because that's what I'm leaning towards right now. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I am definitely running out of time, so if you watch this video all the way to the end, you're the champ, and I appreciate your existence. And until we see each other next time, have a good one.